Back to the open palms. This time we've got Ajax versus Thunderchild, which is actually a 2100 rank versus a 1300. So let's go into this expecting a learning experience and not necessarily an even game, so to speak. I would be cautious about discounting it completely though, because sometimes people have a much better ladder rank than global, and this is definitely global. But let's keep going on here. We've got Thunderchild going first land factory, second air in his base, which is going to give him a much faster air time than moving up to the front and building his air factory. Ajax is going to be dropping a first land factory as well, 3 power generators on it, and then it looks like he is moving up to the hydro post haste. Although I'm not sure, do you have... That is manual reclaim scheduled for the ACU. So probably building all of this, and then he's going to move to the front and assist the engineers once they get up there. So I'm kind of wondering if this is a legit build order or if this is a relaxed build order because of his opponent, which can sometimes be a critical error, because if you discount your opponent because of apparent lower rank and he pulls a shenanigan and throws you off balance, you might just lose the game. So Thunderchild is going to have a total of 5 power generators before the air factory, but as the air factory is coming online, he will also have the hydro available. So that is pretty good as far as build orders go. He's got a solid one, and he'll be off on a good start. Looks like the lab is going to be headed into the base, maybe a little bit too close to the center. Want to skirt around that potential ACU, get into the rear, and kill some NGs. Ajax got 3 engineers on the hydro to build as quickly as possible. He is balanced pretty well though. And then he can get his second air factory up, and then a third land ASAP. Nicely done there. As far as expansions go, looks like Ajax is planning on getting this with his engineer that might just die to the lab that is approaching in the mid. Then we've got manual reclaim to the left and picking up 4 mass extractors on the way back. Over on the right, Thunderchild almost done with that air factory, also simultaneously building a land factory. Let's check out and see what his eco is. If he stops, he'll be fine. -5 mass, which he should be able to make up for with the manual reclaim on this side. That is a beautiful pickup. Well done there. Either he's had a lot of practice or something else is afoot here. We've got manual reclaim into 4 mass extractors, land factory, point defense, and radar in the rear. I feel like this point defense is one of the most critical things on this map, because inevitably at some point during the game you are going to have a run by. It just will happen. It will. So if you have that point defense available to you, it can stop a couple of tanks that slip by. If more than a couple of tanks are slipping by, then you probably have bigger problems that a point defense wouldn't solve in the first place. But that point defense can save those 3 mass extractors and potentially other things in the back of your base from harm. Ajax is going for T1 land spam, obviously. We've got 6 land factories total planned. ACU is taking a very aggressive stance up in the forward portion of the map. And then we've got another point defense on 4 mass extractors for an engineer expanding to the left. No point defense on the right as of yet. So maybe we'll see units streaming over to the right more. I am not entirely sure. Thunderchild taking a little bit more of a traditional approach, as he is actually taking the same route. He's also going to build the forward mass extractors, then move off in that direction. That just seems like very reckless ACU placement to me, but I suppose at the beginning portion of the game it's going to be difficult for your opponent to get enough tanks in one place to threaten your ACU, as they're also trying to guard other portions of the map. So maybe it's not actually as dangerous as I think that it is. We've got 4 land factories down for Thunderchild, who appears to be planting them in a pattern for T2 power adjacency. No, never mind. That is not the case, although it may have originally been the plan. He misplaced them. And then that is going to give him a total of 5 land factories. We've got point defense, 2 radars in front of the point defense, which is a very unorthodox approach to expansions, but we'll give it to him. Let's see, 2 mass extractors there, and we've got scouts over here, but no intel for Thunderchild on this portion. Although it does look like he has made a timely move order placement that will get him over against those units as they move through. Nice! Selen is going to slip through the back, which may be able to do some damage to the engineers in the rear, but he will deny the main push of the tanks. and that will protect his expansion, at least for the time being. 4 tanks versus 4 tanks, but we got a clump versus a stream, as we pointed out several times before, so the numbers will get better. Selin is pursuing the engineer, but for the second time today, we're seeing a mass extractor tank damage for a more important target, and that is going to be a successful denial. Looks like we've got 2 Mantis versus 2 Thams up on the north side. This is where you want to have 1 Mantis, or both Mantis focusing on 1 tank to eliminate the damage potential and then shifting to the other. There are still 2 tanks, but I think that Ajax is going to get enough units over to the right-hand side to be able to deny. ASU building the forward mass extractor, and then we'll see where they go from there. Looks like Ajax is moving all the way up to kill off the 2 expansion mexes for Thunderchild. Thunderchild at 18 mass per tick versus Ajax's 40 freaking 1. Although, yeah, most of that comes down to the fact that Ajax was able to slow down this expansion, kill those 2 mass extractors, and Thunderchild was slightly slower on moving to his right side expansion. So all of this is looking pretty dang good for Ajax at the moment, but there's 44 mass per tick. Power stall, that's why it was throwing me off. So Thunderchild is power stalling. He does have about the same mass income, it would appear, as his opponent. Ajax doing a much better job of building power preemptively and not stalling. So we've got a T1 transport coming out, perfectly balanced eco, rolling into production of interceptors and probably some scouts. There we go. 1 more land factory going down, and he is going to lose a bit of his right side expansion to the ACU and tanks moving in that direction. This transport is going to be able to drop engineers on the outside plateaus, though, and that's going to give him 6 mass extractors on each side that cannot be killed unless Thunderchild's able to deny the drop and or drop tanks before defenses can be put into place. Thunderchild doing extremely effective raiding on the left-hand side. We've got 2 mass extractors about to go down, and now that the power stall is stopped, you can see how wrong I was. Thunderchild actually taking the lead on this once he's not counting for stalling power. 47 to 35 mass per tick. We do have a few more tanks in place for Ajax, though, so Ajax is going to claim the left side of the map entirely for himself, including the plateau, and that's going to cause some issues for Thunderchild, because once you lock this down, you're able to flow units through the rear of the map and around to the other side, and there's not a whole lot that your opponent can do about it. T1 power generator still being built in a queue around the backside of the base. Do we have a T2 land factory going down yet? I don't believe that we do. No, we do not. It would be interesting to see Ilshavas come out, because I think that would be a pretty dang effective tool in shutting down this Mantis spam. Thams collecting on the left side of the map. That is an awful lot of tanks in one place, and engineers continuing to drop on some extra targets. Nicely done there, nicely done indeed. Gonna capture that T1 mass extractor? Maybe? No, they got forgotten about, I think. If they do, then that will pay for itself pretty dang quickly. Alright, there's enough Mantis on the left to probably keep this safe, but there's more Thams on the right. However, the ACU is in a position to help out should these forces become threatened to that extent. Mass extractor claimed. T1 artillery now pounding away at the point defense in this little expansion. Once that's down, those 2 mexes will fall as well. Thunderchild at 63 mass per tick versus 49, no, 55. That was a little bit of reclaim coming in, I do believe. Yes, 59 with 1300 reclaim. Ajax on 1900 reclaim with 49 income. Thunderchild is doing pretty dang well for himself. He is going for a T2 land factory upgrade at, I think, what is a relatively inopportune time, because we do have tanks moving in from the left. Anytime you take a factory offline to go for that T2 upgrade, yes, you will get better units later. Yes, you will get an epic amount of power and build power and all of that other kind of thing that come with T2, but you do take that factory offline, which decreases your unit cap for the time being. Transport moving out to the right, pulling off the same kind of shenanigans. We've got multiple queued. If you want to queue engineer drops like this person is doing, Ajax, what he's done is you select 1 engineer, then you place a drop order. Then you select another engineer and place another drop order, another engineer, place another drop order, or 3 at a time, and then drop. Or if you queue 1 or 2, then drop a general order, the whole transport will unload with whatever is left. That's a question that I do get quite often, and it is a very useful tool so that you can queue transports on these long hauls and not have to worry about things later. So there's their 2, and then another couple will drop over there. On the left, we have a little bit of a development because enough Mantis have congregated in one location to completely overrun Ajax's forces. That means that he's probably going to be able to reclaim this expansion, but no, we've got 3 bombers coming in. That's going to be an instant KO on 5 units, and as those come around for another pass, we'll see yet more damage being done. Ajax has got quite a few interceptors, was able to wrest air control completely away from Thunderchild, who is now only ahead by 2 mass per tick, and now they are even thanks to the plateau. One plateau is not the end of the world, but when you have both, that means that there's 6 mass extractors advantage to one side, which can turn into some nasty business very, very quickly indeed. T2 Land Factory is online now. We've got T2 power going down, which is once again leading into a drastic power stall and low mass income, low ability to deal with the things that are happening. Relatively good intel on this side, but not everything. Ajax has also got T2. ACU is moving in to try to do a little damage, eliminate a little build power. Ajax has got all the intel that he could possibly ever want. He's not quite ready to devote all of his units to trying to kill the base quite yet. He knows that that's probably a bad idea since the factories will meat shield to a pretty great degree, but now he is thinking about it, only moving here to try to draw the units down as the bombers continue to whittle away at the HP. We've got 2 T2 units out now, a Rhino and a Flak, with another Rhino coming shortly. Cerberus turret placed so that once those units moving close, Thunderchild will be able to slowly rack up damage over time. Cerberus turrets, of course, not the most impressive point defense that's ever come into being. Oh no. I guess he has accepted his fate. Walked into the point defense and boom goes the dynamite. I don't think Thunderchild should have given that up. Ah, rip, GG. That may have been a misplaced move order. I think that was. So let's talk a little bit about how this game unfolded. Obviously, Ajax played more solidly overall, and you would expect that of a 2100 rated player. However, Thunderchild had not lost, not by a long shot. And you've got to respect how well he did in this game. He had a solid build order. He had all of his expansions locked down. He wasn't able to drop the plateaus, but he did do good, consistent raiding all over the map, trying to kill off as many mass extractors as he could and reduce the amount of eco that Ajax had. He lost air control later in the game, but he did build air, and he was doing an excellent job defending his own territory. So I think he deserves a lot of props for that. A little improvement will take you a long way in this, and I think he has got good things ahead of him in the ladder. But well done for both of these players. Unfortunate little move on the ACU in the end of it. That is gonna wrap everything up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like and share it with someone. If you want to support the channel, catch the streams, or join the Discord, check out the links in the description. Thank you all for being at least partially insane, and I will see you in the next one.